Okay, day 2. I have that one there that I did a few days ago that I can work on when I'm done with this, which I am now gonna do. I did some touch-ups primarily on this tree in the front. And now I'm gonna do the leaves. And then once I do the leaves, I'll be able to see. Oh, I also put some orange on the path because the path didn't have that red orange color that I wanted it to have. Then I'm gonna do the leaves, and then I'm gonna go back and see how everything harmonizes together and change things, as I see fit. All right. Okay, gonna be done now. And I didn't end up working on that one, but I don't love it, but I think I'm satisfied with it. It is what it is. And I like this one better, so I'm just gonna go back to the studio now. Hey everybody, I just was thinking some thoughts. Like, I've made a lot of small ones in this size that I feel generally happy with, but I really want to challenge myself to make more bigger sizes, like, like that. But yeah, like a more of a medium size, because like this has been good because I've been taking my time making specific choices with colors and building it up slowly. But I feel like because I'm not good enough to do it yet, I'm not experienced enough to do it yet, I don't do the thing that Van Gogh or whoever would have done, which is to choose a color to put it on and for that color to be the right color. I feel like I choose something, I put a bunch of other things on, then I have to change that, then I have to change those, then I have to change this, then I have to put on more stuff and then change it again and again and again and keep changing it until it looks how I want it to look at the end, instead of like having it how I want it in the beginning. I think what I mean mostly is I want to make those decisions quicker, and I want to be more sure about those decisions, and instead of just still practicing on the small ones, I'm going to just force myself to do it on a big one. The obstacle is that I make the wrong decisions and then I just get frustrated, which might happen. But I'd like to give it a try because I actually think I do need to force myself to just make quicker decisions, and to trust myself and to not have it perfect in the beginning, because I always change everything anyway. I always go over stuff. I always correct colors, add things over it, layers and layers and layers. So I don't know why I'm so meticulous for the first 2 hours, Anyway, I want something to be so expressive and so free, and like, let me show you. Of course, this book. Let me find a painting that is similar to these tree paintings that I've been doing. It was when he first came to Arles, which is a town he lived in, famous town, And he came at the end of winter, and when spring came, where is it? When spring came, he painted the olive trees. Or no, sorry, he painted the orchids. Where were they? Oh, it's right around here. Yeah, the orchids in blossom. So something like this. Where are my favorite ones? Yeah, this is sort of similar to what I've just been doing. Yeah, I'll look at this one. So you can see he put a matte color, this green, he just put that down flat. And then he took a brush and he took this like light desaturated green. He took that pure yellow, cadmium yellow, I think, I don't know. And he just made those marks. You see those marks right there? He just made those marks and he just left it. When I did these marks up here, I must have done layer after layer after layer after layer until I liked how it looked. This part took me like an hour and a half. Way, way too long. Because it's like I was insecure about how it looked. I wasn't satisfied with it yet. So it's like I need to practice being satisfied with what I have, but also I need to just practice so that I am satisfied with it, so that I am better. In just getting the gist of what it looks like. Like, I mean, that's what it is. I just need to be better. Like, he sees this shadow here of this tree, and where I would make it more complicated, he just, ready? Focus. He just takes, I think he took black. I don't know what that is. Sometimes he used black. And he just makes a couple marks. And he doesn't go over them a second time. He's just happy with how he did it. And he probably did it pretty quickly. Pretty, like, intuitively, just looking up and looking down and making that line right there. And he doesn't feel the need to go back. And it's the same thing with all these other lines. So he sees a highlight right there and he takes cadmium. He just goes, duh, 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 you know? And I mean, those cadmium lines, that's not even a representation of grass. It's a representation of light. You see what I'm saying? This is the way that the light looked on the grass. It's not the way the grass looked. Those aren't actual pieces of grass, you know? Which maybe that sounds obvious to you, but when you're trying to paint something the way it looks, that's a nuanced way to think about things. That's a different way. You're not really thinking. You're looking at light and you're trying to get the essence of what it looks like, but really what the light looks like. Yeah, it's just this simplicity of these lines that just gets me. And like, I feel like he just didn't go over any of this. I feel like he felt comfortable with how it was in the beginning, but you can tell he went over stuff in the trees. He was layering things. He definitely looked at that purple tree and he said, it's shining a little bit more. I'm going to put that orange. You see that orange he put there? Well, it appears orange, but it's actually pretty red. Which is sort of similar to what I did with that tree behind this first tree. I put some orange there because it was shining. The sun, the light coming off of this grass was reflecting back up into it and coming at my eye, making it look kind of like an orange. I also put an orange right there. So that sort of corrective thing, layering, is absolutely what I'm supposed to be doing. But I take so long to get there, and it's so painstaking to make a decision because I get so precious about keeping it how it is and not ruining it, instead of just being like confident in the fact that everything I add is going to make it better, which is, I'm sure, how Van Gogh felt. Whether or not he was confident enough with other people or whatever, when he was painting, he knew that he knew what he was doing. But just another interesting thing, like, you see this little rock structure right here? This was left as is, just the rocks, without any of these green grass things, because you can go in and you can tell that they were drawn in wet on dry, which means that all these rock things that he had painted had dried. And then after a few days, he went over and did that again. I'm sure it was because the light blue of the rocks was standing out so much and taking attention away from this. And so he decided to use the green to kind of blend it all in. So now when you look at it, you just see these trees and that doesn't stand out to you. I like being able to get into his process like that. It's just so ridiculously expressive. It's as if he doesn't care. But really what it is he's just so confident that he can do it without being too concerned about it. He knows it's going to look good. And yeah, that's just the kind of like raw confidence that I want, that comes with ability, but I think it also comes with forcing myself to do it, to manifest the like, okay, what if I had full confidence in myself? What if I knew that everything I did was good? I'm sure that I would find that I am better than I think I am. You know? Okay, so that's my experiment. That's what I'm going to be trying next. And the funny thing is, like, I look at Van Gogh's paintings sometimes, imagining if I were him, if this was what I made today. And when you are the artist, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking a million things look off. A million things I want to change. It's such a weird curse being the person who made it, because you can never see it objectively. You can never see it for the first time. All you see is the process of making it. All you can see is, it's like a story of the 3, 4, 5 hours that it took for you to make it. And all you see are the missed chances or the unconfident lines or the weird decisions that you made that you kind of feel iffy about, instead of the actual picture. Whereas other people get to just see the picture and they don't know any of the struggle and doubt that went into it. And like so many Van Gogh paintings I look at, I'm like, well, that looks, when I imagine I'm him, I'm like, well, that looks really childish and weird and not finished and undone. Like, I'm looking at this and like, I love this for many reasons, but if I imagine I made this, I'm like, well, none of this, look, that's all the background. That's just the canvas. None of that is painted. And there are all these random little marks. What are those marks? And like some of these flowers aren't even filled in. They, like the petals, they're not even filled in. They look kind of weird. This like angle looks weird. I don't know what this thing is that's like coming up, cutting into that. What's there? Why is it like cut off? You see, there's like so many things. What are these random lines? There's so many things that you could say if you made it. It's like a weirdly blinding thing where the details of the painting, the things that the painter thinks about, that the artist thinks about, it doesn't actually really matter to the viewer who's just looking at a picture. Like, if I go back to just being a viewer, I'm looking at this for what it is, not for what it's not. And it's beautiful. And I can just enjoy it for what it is. But Van Gogh, I think, a great artist like Van Gogh, has the ability to see it objectively. He's not worried about, oh, this isn't perfect. What are these lines? That's so weird. He literally can see it for what it is. And he knows that it doesn't have to be perfect for it to be really good. He knows that if he puts red and green together, this red and this green, and then he has these really bright, thick paint, little flowers that actually are really, really well done. He knows that whatever else is going on around here, as long as the colors support this and highlight this, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I aspire to have that level of like grace for myself and my paintings, and that level of like objective wisdom, objective eyes, where I can just see it for what it is and see it for the good thing that it is, instead of seeing it as like in such a detailed, it has to be perfect way, because that's not what art is. That's not what painting is supposed to be. It's supposed to be emotional and powerful and raw and real. It's not supposed to be a science project. We're not at school, you know? It's hard to get out of that school mindset that things have to be like tidy. And yeah, for some reason, Van Gogh is out of that mindset. Okay, I could talk forever about this. I would love to teach a class on Van Gogh. I think that's a really good idea for me down the line. Anyway, see you guys. Thanks for watching these videos. And I feel like I'm back in a better groove now because I was, I think I already said in this video, I was a little bit less productive last week because I actually got into my first gallery. And so a few of the pieces, maybe I already said this, a few of the pieces that I made in the woods, and then the early morning in the town center one that I posted YouTube videos of all three of those. Those are now for sale in a gallery, which is pretty cool. And so I'm happy that I'm back in the groove. Okay, see you guys.